Before we begin, I want you to notice something. There are people who speak and instantly command respect, not because they're louder, not because they're perfect, but because every word they say feels powerful. Now imagine this. What if that ability isn't talent, but a skill you can build? In the next few minutes, you're going to discover something simple, but so powerful, it can completely change the way you think, speak, and see the world. And if you're serious about improving yourself, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because videos like this can quietly change your life. Let's begin. Some people speak and you listen, not because they dominate the room, but because their words land with precision. There's no rush, no noise, just clarity. Every sentence feels intentional, almost like they've already thought it through before saying it. And you start wondering, how? What's their secret? It's not talent, not luck, and definitely not perfect grammar. It's something quieter than all of that. Reading. It doesn't look impressive from the outside. No applause, no recognition. No one sees the hours, the silence, the effort. But inside your mind, something powerful is taking shape. Because reading isn't just a habit, it's training, mental training. Think of it like this. Every book is a doorway, and every time you open one, you step into a new world, a new perspective, a new version of yourself. You travel without moving. You experience lives you've never lived. You face problems you haven't faced yet, and learn how to handle them before they ever arrive. Books don't just entertain you, they prepare you. And something interesting starts to happen. Your mind slows down, but in the best way possible. You stop reacting instantly. You start reflecting, connecting ideas, seeing patterns others miss.
And without even realizing it, you begin to think before you speak. That's why readers often sound confident. Not because they know everything, but because they understand more. And here's the part most people don't notice. Reading doesn't transform you overnight. It works quietly, like water shaping stone. Slow, consistent, unseen. But day by day, something shifts. Your focus sharpens. Your patience grows. Your thoughts become clearer. Until one day, you pause and realize you're not the same person anymore. Reading doesn't just change what you know. It changes how your brain works. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you never challenge it, if you only scroll, swipe, and consume quick content, it stays weak, comfortable, reactive, always jumping from one thing to the next. But reading is different. It forces your mind to slow down and go deeper. Every sentence asks something from you. To imagine, to remember, to connect. You're not just looking at words, you're building meaning. You picture scenes in your mind. You follow ideas across paragraphs. You hold information and link it to something you already know. That's real mental exercise. And the more you do it, the stronger your thinking becomes. You stop getting distracted every few seconds. You stop chasing constant stimulation. You learn to stay with one idea, fully. That ability alone is rare today, and powerful. Because when you can focus, you can learn faster. When you can stay present, you understand deeper. When your mind isn't scattered, your thoughts become sharp. Reading trains you to think, not just react. It teaches you how to question things, how to analyze, how to see beyond the surface. And slowly, something else begins to change. Your attention span expands. You don't feel the urge to check your phone every minute. You don't get bored as easily. You can sit with complexity without running away from it. That's when your mind starts operating on a different level.
While most people are stuck in short bursts of attention, you're building depth. And depth is where real growth happens. Because success isn't just about information. It's about your ability to stay with a problem long enough to actually understand it. And reading builds that ability, quietly but powerfully. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Reading doesn't just train your brain, it reshapes the way you speak. If you've ever struggled to speak English naturally, this is where everything starts to change. Most people try to improve by memorizing grammar rules, endless formulas, endless corrections. But when it's time to speak, their mind freezes. Because real language doesn't come from rules, it comes from exposure. And that's exactly what reading gives you. When you read, you're not forcing English into your brain, you're absorbing it. You start noticing how sentences flow, how ideas connect, how simple words can carry powerful meaning. You see how native speakers actually express themselves. Not textbook English, real English. This is how opinions are shared. This is how questions sound natural. This is how politeness feels. Your brain begins to recognize patterns without effort. And slowly, something clicks. You stop translating in your head. You stop overthinking every sentence. You just understand. And then one day, you speak. And it feels different, smoother, more natural, more you. That's the power of reading. Your vocabulary grows too, but not in a forced way. You're not cramming words into your memory. You're seeing them again and again in different situations until they don't feel new anymore. They feel familiar. And when you need them, they're already there, waiting. No pressure, no panic, just confidence. Real confidence. Because now you're not trying.
But reading doesn't only sharpen your mind or improve your English. It does something even deeper. It calms you. Because let's be honest, life today is loud. Notifications, deadlines, messages, pressure. Even when everything around you is quiet, your mind isn't. It keeps running, thinking, worrying about what's next. And that constant noise slowly drains you. But then, you open a book, and something shifts. There's no rush, no urgency, no one demanding your attention. Just you and the page. A book doesn't pull you in 100 directions. It invites you into one. And for the first time in a while, your mind begins to slow down. Your breathing softens. Your thoughts become lighter. The noise fades into the background. Reading becomes a kind of quiet therapy. Not loud, not dramatic, but deeply comforting. And sometimes a story understands you in ways people can't. You see your emotions reflected in characters, your struggles mirrored in their journeys, your questions hidden in their choices. And in those moments, you realize something powerful. You're not alone. That feeling of being understood can heal more than advice ever could. But there's more. Reading doesn't just comfort you, it teaches you. Books are silent teachers. They carry lessons shaped by pain, failure, growth, real human experience. When you read, you step into someone else's life and learn from it without paying the same price. That's wisdom. You begin to understand people better, why they act the way they do, why they think differently. You stop seeing the world as simple and start seeing it as it really is, complex, layered.
And the way you think shapes everything. Your decisions, your actions, your direction in life. When your thinking improves, your choices become clearer. When your choices improve, your habits follow. And when your habits change, your future begins to shift. That's the real power of reading. It's not loud. It's not instant. But it's life-changing. That's why so many successful people read every single day. Not because they have extra time, but because they understand something most people ignore. Growth
doesn't happen by accident. It's built, page by page. They read to understand more, to think better, to become better. And here's the best part. You don't need anything special to start. No perfect English, no expensive courses, no right time. You don't need to wait until you feel ready, because you won't. You just need one page. That's it. One page today, another tomorrow. Small, simple, consistent. Because every page you read plants something inside you. A new idea, a new perspective, a new possibility. And those small seeds don't stay small forever. One day, they grow into clarity, into confidence, into a version of you that thinks sharper, speaks better, and sees the world differently. So the question isn't, do you have time to read? The real question is, what happens if you don't? Because the version of you that reads and the version of you that doesn't are moving toward two completely different futures. Choose carefully. Now, here's what I want you to do. Don't just watch this video and move on. Take action. Tonight, read one page. Just one. No pressure. No excuses. Just start. Because the difference between who you are today and who you can become tomorrow might be hidden in something as simple as a single page. And if this video made you think, even for a moment, hit like, because that tells me you want more content like this. Subscribe if you're ready to grow, not just watch.
And in the comments, tell me this. What was the last book that changed the way you think? I read every comment. And who knows, your answer might inspire someone else to begin.